I think sometimes trainers forget some really basic little things. We get so caught up in working the horses and getting respect and making sure we maintain our respect that sometimes we forget the little things, like spending quality time with them. Um, Eclipse here keeps coming up to me and getting in my face and sniffing me, and I actually really like that. Like this. There we go. I think people forget to allow and encourage those little interactions because that's affection from a horse. It's a horse coming up and inspecting you and developing a bond and wanting to know what you're doing and wanting to be with you and coming and sniffing you and grooming you back. I've had her nibble on my hair before, Elsa too. And it's just kind of a magical little experience. And I think sometimes when we start focusing on training, we forget about these little magical tiny moments and forget to enjoy them and allow them and encourage them. Because now she's like on top of me saying, Mommy, I want lovings, I want attention. And we're just out in the field. I'm not working with her. And sometimes I think if you focus too much on working, oh, get that neck scratch, get that neck scratch. Oh, yes. If we focus too much on working, we can forget about developing actual bonds with the horses. And sometimes if all you focus on is work, the horses don't really want to come up to you in the field. I have no food. They've already eaten. Taken their buckets out of the field. I don't have anything to suggest food or anything. She's just here for attention, for spending time with me, get some scratches. And if she wants to groom back or sniff me, I'm going to completely allow it. I'm going to encourage it. As long as she's, being pretty respectful. She's sniffing and lipping at my fingers right now. She's not using her teeth. She didn't come into my space without asking. She came up to me and she was respectful about it. She's not being nasty in any way about any of it. She's being super respectful, and now she just wants attention. She could be eating, she could be somewhere else minding her business. I didn't call her, I didn't encourage her to come over. I was just standing here in the field. And usually Elsa over there gets jealous and comes over and butts in, which she's actually been doing for probably about 10-15 minutes now. And I think she just decided to go back to eating and let Eclipse have her attention. Come in here and get right down on that skin, because that's what's itchy. Oh, you start to make funny faces when you get in there. Oh yes, oh yes, it itches. And it's really funny because they kind of, when they come up to you and they're touching you and they're sniffing you and they're lipping you, you kind of get this tingly sensation because people are very much like animals, where actually we do need touch. Babies can die if they are deprived of touch. And they even have they call it touch deprivation, where people feel very depressed and everything when they don't, get physical interaction with people. It doesn't have to be sexual, but like hugs and, touching of the hands or just touching of the arms can really release happy endorphins. And I think people forget that we are naturally like this, much like animals. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But we can get that same reaction from our animals we can get that from our horses and from our dogs. And I think people get so worried about making sure our horses respect us that we forget to just have affection, physical affection for each other, and to allow this physical affection. Big girl, you know, those flies are biting your chest. It's finally cooled down and they aren't so bad, huh? It's really funny. I trust my horses, and I never really thought about it, but one day, a few weeks ago, almost a month ago, I'd say by now, I just kind of wondered to myself what would happen if I went out into the pasture and just sat down. And no, you don't get to use me as an itching post. You are much too big for that. And it just never occurred to me to try it. And when I did, all the horses came over and they had to sniff me and inspect me and be like, "What are you doing down there?" And it was kind of another little magical experience because I had no fear that they were going to run me over. And in fact, Elsa and Eclipse here stood over the top of me so the other horses would stay away from me. I'm the ones that I don't trust quite so much. And they came over. Elsa, I think, actually got a little worried because she kept nudging me, and then she started to nip at my leg, almost encouraging me to get up because they're not used to seeing me lay down. So don't forget that when you're training these horses, to allow the small magical moments, the little moments of them coming up and sniffing you and getting in your personal space to do so. There is, the whole respect my space, don't come in unless asked or invited. But then there's times when you want to allow it and encourage it, because there's a difference between them coming in to be little assholes and them wanting to come in and just bond with you. So allow those little moments, those little sniffs and those lipping moments, as long as it doesn't get carried away and turn into biting, and as long as they requested to come into your space, they didn't just invade it.